everybody, and welcome back to the MindCatcher's channel. I'm going to start off this CoverGirl look with my CyberLink lip balm. So I put this on. I've been putting this on the kids, anything we could do to save our skin, child, I do it. The next thing I'm going to do is prime my eyes with my e.l.f. eye primer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have been hearing you guys, I have been reading your comments where you say you want to see some brand tutorials where I use kind of all one brand. I am definitely going to try that. Now today I'm going to be using the CoverGirl True Naked Roses palette. If you follow me on Instagram and Snapchat, you've seen it. It is kind of like the Naked 3 palette. I don't own the Naked 3, but I could see where they were going with it. Nice rosy shades in there. And they retail for about $11.75 a piece, something to that effect. So we're going to see what the pigmentation looks like on the lid. Now because these are earthy tones and everything, and I am an earthy tone person, brown, I'm going to put down a little bit of concealer to try to even out my skin tone on my eyelid. As looking inside of this palette, I don't see anything that's pretty much skin tone. So what I'm going to do is take my face powder and put it over that cream. Anytime we put down a cream, concealer, or anything like that, we need to set it. So I'm putting down my face powder first. Alright, I think what I want to do is somewhat of a halo eye. So I'm going to put dark on both sides and then the lighter color in the center. So let's start off with the third from the last. I hope you can see it from that little shade there. And you see I'm starting off in the outer corner. I'm working it into the crease. And those of you with hooded eyes and you don't know where your crease is, just try to feel the top of your eyeball. Sit that brush right on top of your eyeball. And then the last shade all the way on the end is a very, very plummy shade, very deep. I'm going to just tap that into the outer corner as well. And keep that really close to the corner. We don't have to buff that one out so far. You see how I'm just tapping it. I'm not really blending out. I'm just tapping it in. Now because I want that center shade to really bling, I'm going to use the 1, 2, 3, 4th shade there. 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. It's a pretty pink. I want it to really bling, so I'm going to spray my brush. You can use water, anything. This is a flat eye shading brush, the E55 by Sigma. So I'm just spritzing my brush and I'm going right into the palette. And I'm applying that right there in the center. Look down. And patting it on seems not to be doing the trick, but swiping it on seems to be working a little bit better. I'm going to pick up a little bit more. And then what I do is go around, just lightly, around my transition area with my face powder, very lightly. Don't pick up too much. If you don't have to get any face powder, don't. Okay, so I put a little bit on my brush, kind of tap it off on my hand, and just go around it to neaten up just a little bit. Because you don't want to wipe away all the stuff you just did. And for the brow bone highlight, I'm going to use the lightest shade in the palette. And I'm going to use it very, very lightly. And yes, I could use any brow bone highlight I want. You can go into a different palette from a different brand. But I want to try to do something with just this palette. Now for this palette, another item that I think would look nice with this as a base. I don't know if you guys remember the color tattoo. I think they had like a mauve shade. If you use that as a base, this would really pop and look pretty. So there's an idea for those who may have that color tattoo or find it. I think it's a mauve shade. I can't remember the name. If I want to define the outer corners, I can go back to that deepest shade in the palette and do that. Let's see what that would look like. Really intensify it if you want. I'm going to use my eye marker from the Salma Hayek brand. That's right there in CVS Pharmacy. Just keeping it very close to the lash line. Alright guys, for mascara, I'm going to be using my CoverGirl Supersizer Mascara. I told you guys I had mascara from the drugstore. Just didn't look for it the other day. But so far I feel like the pigmentation is just about what I expected. It's pretty decent. It's not bad at all. I had some other lashes. These are the Everlash. That's the name of the brand. And the number is EL05. I'll leave it down in the description box. Alright, so we're moving on to the face. Are you excited? Let's go. Alright, we're going to be using the CoverGirl Ready Set Gorgeous. It says one simple step for a flawless natural look that lasts all day. The formula blends easily to even skin tone and reduces shine all day. Oil-free, won't clog your pores, suitable for sensitive skin and lasts all day. So we will be the judge of that. I'm still going to apply my primer because with any foundation I put on primer, today I'm going to use the Makeup Forever Step 1. This is the mattifying primer. You guys know I use my Becca. And the only other thing that I think is close to these is the Milk of Magnesia. And I'm just going to kind of smear it on my most oily areas. And that's my nose. And right there on the tops of those cheekbones right here. For the rest of my face, I'm going to be using my Derma E Purifying Youth Serum. That's what I use as a moisturizer sometime under makeup. So all the other spots that are drier, that's what I use. Alright guys, now I'm going to use the foundation. Now I did a swatch of it and I'll show you guys right here. I said this is a beautiful swatch. It's pretty decent coverage. But it's one thing on your hand and another thing on your face with all that discoloration and all that stuff is going on. So what I'm going to do is use it with a damp beauty blender. I put this underneath the sink, let it get totally wet, and then squeezed it out. That's how I use my beauty blenders, okay? So I'm gonna dip it. Let's hit it on my hand there. It was a pretty good match for me too. Right there. And I'm going to start on this side of my face. You see the discoloration and things going on. And I can always use my concealer afterwards. But let's see how much it covers on its own. Alright guys, so I can tell you right now the coverage is pretty doggone good. And just looking at this side of my face against this side of my face, you can see where it covered a lot of the darker spots and things that I had. And like I said, you can always go over your foundation with the skin tone concealer and fix it. Any little blemishes and spots, you could just spot check them and blend it in and, you know, cover them up. But for something from the drugstore to come straight out of the packaging with a beauty blender blended in, it's very good coverage. Very good coverage. I'm almost tempted to say that it gives the Milani 2-in-1 foundation a little run for its money. And the fact that it dried down to, it's a very soft finish. It feels very, very nice on the skin. It feels breathable like it says. It doesn't look oily, because you can look in the, I'm looking at myself in the side panel here. And this side of my face with no foundation on looks oilier than this side. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other side of my face, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so this is the completed look. In my opinion, this Ready Set Gorgeous foundation is absolutely gorgeous. I would tell anybody, if they have your shade, try it out. I love the coverage. It feels very light. It feels like it's going to be oil free. I will be trying to wear this all day and see what happens, or for the rest of the evening rather, and see what happens. But I feel very good about it, and the coverage was really surprising. It is really surprising. So I'm almost tempted to say that the Milani 2-in-1 has a little competition there. It really is that good. I love the packaging, that it's just a squeeze out right onto your hand or onto your palette. I would definitely suggest using your beauty blender to use a little less of it. If you use a brush, you know, it may just sink down into those fibers and you'll find yourself using more. I would definitely say to you guys to put on your concealers or your correctors before you put on the Ready Set Gorgeous, because it seems to dry down and matte down and powder down very quickly. It feels like almost a powdery finish. Like I said during the video, it almost feels like there's already powder on my face before I put the powder on. So that's letting you know that it's setting in place. I'm not quite sure how they do it, but that's what it feels like. So if you're going to put on a concealer on top to give yourself a highlight and everything, you have to move very fast. Okay. The palette, the Roses palette, I know you guys saw my swatches on the eyes in person. Pretty good pigmentation, about what I would expect from a drugstore brand. In my opinion, the Golden palette is much more pigmented to me. On my skin tone it is. Lighter skin ladies, you might get more pigmentation out of the Roses palette than I did. Alright. And that is it, my dear. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. I know if I was watching, I always try to put out videos that I feel like will be helpful to me. If I was watching, I would say that was a helpful video. So I'm hoping you guys feel the same way. Alright. Would I pick it up? Would I pick up the Rose palette? Would I pick up the Golden palette again? Yes, I would. Would I pick up the foundation again? I definitely would. So you guys try it out. Alright. And that is it. So thank you guys for watching. Please, please, please thumbs me up and share these videos. If you love my content, you like what I'm doing over there, let everybody know about it. That helps me, okay? Thank you. Cyber kisses. And see you guys in the next video. Bye.